Chapter 18. Experiencing Death Within Life Through Breathing. To understand the concept of death is very mysterious and complex. Moreover, it is more difficult to understand death within the span of life. If one can experience death in his life, then he will not have any fear of death. Then only he can live in death as he lives in life. For him, death and life both become the same. Experiencing death in life is the death of Maya, the illusion. He can raise himself above the Maya if he feels or experiences death in life. Then only mystery of life and death will be clear to him while living. Feeling, realizing, or experiencing death is nothing but the end of the cause of the cycles of his ego and sankalpa. It means all his ego and sankalpa will disappear and he will start living just for the sake of living, as if he is mentally dead but physically alive. His experience of life and death become simultaneous. He lives without any desires, and so leaving the physical body or form is just a play for him, since he lives without any attachment of any kind with anyone. Basically, he is very close to death being alive. Neither gimmicks of life attracts him, and nor death creates any fear in his mind. For him, there is no duality of life and death. He is very friendly and close to both. He loves death as he loves life. Death for him is just coming out from the closed room to the open sky. Such a person is the realized soul, and he is the man of real knowledge and wisdom. He has full control on his breath. He forgets and lives in transient death 21,687 times per day, the number of times he breathes. By suspending his breath, he can be with the death or spirit. He has full command to be with the life or to be with the death as per his wish. Desires from the depth of the heart from Jivatma or personalized soul, and these are instruments to force an individual to live to fulfill them through planning by mind and execution by ego. Food is the cause of extension of life and cause of the breath to digest the food. Food gives energy to live, but it is illusion to think that one lives by food only. One can live on water and gradually can switch on living entirely by the energy of the breath. Air we breathe has all the elements that can keep our body fit and healthy, since through air our physical system extracts pranic energy that gives basic support to live. Jiva needs more number of breaths to digest the solid food, and thus it is more under the influence of Maya or illusion. By minimizing quantity of solid food, one can gradually conquer Maya and can live more with the spirit and gets closely associated with the death. Food creates more desires, increases ego, and layers of Maya or illusions go on increasing on the Jivatma. After fulfillment of one desire, another desire is poured in, and thus unending cycle of desires is continued. Thus Samhar Bija, the extension of desires continued without any restraint that increases the love or desire to live, but fear of death always scares an individual. However, when the desires are diminished, one can be in a state of silence. Indeed, death is a state of absolute silence. By death, all the desires and suspension of breaths, as well as manifestation of consciousness or awareness, one can get the glimpses of enlightenment by the grace of Almighty. And he can become immortal. Away from the food and breath, and being in manifested consciousness, lead an aspirant or sadhaka to the doorsteps of death, being in this life. The optimum way is that one must eat to live, but not live to eat if he wants to perceive mystery of death in life. Becoming pure sattvic, living on just water, and finally on air or prana, increases the soul light that helps to merge the soul into the supernal, and thus this gives glimpses of experience of death in life much faster. Mergence of soul with supernal with discontinuities, transcendence of time and space, discloses the mystery of death in life and life beyond death. This is possible by having full command on breath. Only Jiva, being passes through the agony of death, soul is supreme and is beyond life and death. Realizing the soul light, being in this life, removes the curtain of death, and one becomes liberated from the pains of life and death forever. He becomes the enlightened soul, and this is the highest aim of one's life. In short, death within life is suspension of breath, manifestation of consciousness after being consciousless to be desireless, transcendence of time and space with discontinuities and to be self-realized. Without the mercy of breath, this mystery cannot be perceived. That is why breath is God. To perceive death within life is the art of transcendence of breath, while alive as and when someone wants to experience death within life.